Shalom, shalom. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, when Big came in like that, you know what's up. Apocalypse. Yeshua's spirit descended upon me. Suddenly, I began to witness the fulfillment of biblical prophecy, demolishing Christianity, Islamic, and all worldly philosophies. Alas, Kahan Tazadaq is debating misinformed beasts in two-piece suits with a PhD and many learned in theology. I saw the beast with 7 heads arise from the sea. This is symbolically 7 European countries. The feet of the beast embraced the ground. I detected that the beast wore 10 crowns. The archangel Gabriel came down to engage in battle with evil forces all around. Massive bloodshed in the final war. Death to all that hell, Caesar, Borgia, Michael, and 144,000 right here. Proud men, tempers arousing. I begin browsing the crowd. Now, no lie, I discover Yahushua was sword in hand. The sun suddenly ceased to shine. The moon was covered with blood like red wine. 3 inverted number 9s equate 6, 6, 6 in the palms and on the foreheads of those who fell for Esau's tricks. Revelations 19:11, eliminating old Saint Nick's, also known as the devil, the arch deceiver. Souls that used to ridicule and make mockery of Kahan Tazadaq, now they want to become believers. And as much as you did it, not for the least of these, now the Most High won't receive you. You've lived your entire life wicked, degenerate, and foul. Welcome to hell. Feel the apocalypse now. Revelations, the apocalypse. You know what it is. This is Tazadaq. So I'm going to talk to you tonight, man. Give you some right knowledge for real, man, about the mind. A manipulated mind is a trouble thing to keep. I, Kahan Tazadaq, is an enlightener. Right? I'm an enlightener teacher, a facilitator. I facilitate right knowledge for real. And I am calling you to accept this wisdom that I have to give you. Of the many teachings that I've actually inspired you to learn, this one, my head, this is one of the greatest. For it was a special gift given to me by the Elohim. It's a divine message given to me by the Elohim through the Ruach Kodesh. It's because you're listening tonight. You're supposed to be here. So I'm going to give it to you in its purest form, in scripture form, so that you may learn the truth. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you mad, then make you free. The children of the Most High, Yasha Allah, all of you. This message right here is the guide to improve your everyday living, everyday emotions, everyday sayings, etc., etc. I want you to know that I am here to guide you to break the spell of the illuministic figures and high Shaitan, to pull you out of the matrix and to put you right back on that straight and narrow path, that right path. So hearken into my words. But however, it's only those who want to listen to me and follow my teachings will receive this. This is one of the divine inspirations from the spirit of the Ruach HaKodesh. I was sent to give you proper guidance and for keeping the remembrance of the Most High within your mind, body, and your heart. So make the teachings of this message right here a part of your everyday life. Don't just listen to it, put it down, but you have to study this intensively. And by all means, give it to a friend or a child or a parent who are in need of this divine message. This is universal knowledge. Universal knowledge, which I send forth to all. This is Yahuwah's Ruach. Yahweh's Ruach. Bahashem. To all of the children of Yasha Allah who have embarked upon the name Yahweh, Yahuwah, I, Kahan Tazadaq, the deprogrammed enlightener, am your facilitator, who you know by Kahan Tazadaq or the deprogrammed enlightener, or some of you even the mighty sovereign. I've been sent to you to break the spell, to break you out of the matrix. I am about to impart upon your mind, the core of your thinking, your true heart, the mechanics of what you call the master organ, or simply some of you refer to it as the brain, the cerebral cortex, which works with the mind. Know that your mind was a special gift given to you by Yahweh, Yahuwah, right? The ruler of which you call the heavens and the earth, Yahweh, Yahuwah, or if you speak the great Theos, or if you're in the English transliteration, the misnomer God to many, all within the Elohim, within the confines of this message by head, you shall embark upon the knowledge of the mind, which is working with the brain and the nervous system. 3 out of your whole body and being, the brain, is one of the most intricate of the organs within itself and was created by Yahweh, Yahuwah, the Most High. This right knowledge, which I'm giving to you, has never been taught to you by anyone. Remember, my dear Akim, Agwatham, with right knowledge, you receive right wisdom. And with right wisdom, you receive right overstanding. Do you understand? With right wisdom, you receive right overstanding.
David.
Now, calm down. Calm down.
So this is the science of your way of life, of Yasha Allah. So the challenge then is to gain control over your mind, right? By breaking down its conscious ramblings, the internal dialogue, and focusing on the positive and uplifting objectives, it is possible to begin to understand the workings of the psyche and bring about a more effective life. Do you understand? You was made in the image and likeness of the Supreme Elohim. Think about that. Muse over that for a second. Let me begin by giving you the nature of the human, who is the mortal man, the human being, known as the Enocytes. See, free will does exist, but only when it is used to break out the malevolent, disagreeable habits that have been developed into your life. The children of the Most High, Yasha'Allah, right? The children of Enos, the son of Seth, who is called in Tino Seth, and in the rhythm, and his wife. Oh, you children of Enos, you children of Yasha'Allah, know that ye all have fell from being the supreme being. You degenerated to human beings, to humans, to man, to mortal, to mammal. Don't fall any further, my good brother and sister, my children. Study the small things. Read Kahan Tazadaq's books. See, search the scriptures for happiness. They invariably turn to external objects when most people want happiness and events for satisfaction. They merely think, if I could just have that car, or if I was just able to get that job, or if I only live here, if I only live there, I would be happy. See, they have no perception of the fact that the mind be still and at peace for a short time of attaining the desired object. You don't have control of your mind. Get control of your mind, king. Get control of your mind, queen. See, but eventually the mind becomes tired of its newly made soy and seeks treasures elsewhere, still in search of happiness. You get tired of the car. You get tired of the new house. So you look for happiness somewhere else. You get tired of the new vajayjay. You get tired of the new penis. However, this mind child, each time the eternal object fall and failed to bring happiness, the children of Yasha'Allah may acquire new material possessions. They want something else now to satisfy. A position with more responsibility. I'm the boss. I'm the CEO. Money. And a dream home in the suburbs with the Edomites. Being locked in person, place, and things. However, dear children, Yasha'Allah, there always remains the same mind. See, you could take, my good brother Marty Mar Elder, you could take a messed up mind, man, and a deranged mind woman, David, and you could put them in a new house, a new car, a new community, but they have that same mind. However, your mind is an elusive animal to tame. Some of you can't tame your mind. David. Some of you cannot control drinking because you can't control your mind, king. Get control of your mind, king. You can't control your mind, so you're addicted to porn. Get control of your mind. You can't control your mind, so you dress like a whore. You're uncivilized. You're not a queen. You're a degenerate vulture. You degenerated to beast in human form because your mind is an elusive animal to tame. See, many theories exist as to how it works, yet the human process seems to retain intangible. Why does one so often find him or herself caught in the same frustration and the same problems? It is said that this is a free society, right? But in truth, it is each of your own desires and emotions that blind you, the people. Consider this, right? Person who smokes cigarettes, right? A person who drinks daily, right? Claiming that they are determined to stop tomorrow. Watch this, watch this. How many years has this person been caught in this parade? The man or the woman may truly want to be free of the habit, but lacks the necessary control of his or her mind. You can't put the bottle down because you don't have control of your mind. A manipulated mind is a terrible thing to keep. A manipulated mind is a terrible thing to keep. See, in a sense, the mind is like a record or a laser disc. It contains grooves or impressions. These impressions are formed when certain thought waves become habitual. Watch this. Watch this. The benevolent example would be if a man passes a bakery and he sees a chocolate or a vanilla cake in the window. How delicious. The man says, I will buy that cake. If she or he ignores that thought wave and turns his or her mind to something else, then no pattern is formed. Watch this. I'm trying to teach you how to break your habits. This is right knowledge for real. This is your house work. David.
Now, calm down. Calm down.
However, if the man or the woman identifies with the thought, then the man gives life to it. You just birth life to that thought. See, your mind is a field. And in your field, which is your mind, you plant thought seeds. If you plant evil thought seeds, good things are not going to grow in your mind. Get control of your mind, king. Get control of your mind, queen. So, the man buys the cake, looking forward to enjoying it as dessert that evening. Now watch this, watch this. The man finds that he or she must pass that same bakery every Wednesday and every Friday. Each time that the man goes by the bakery, he recalls that wonderful cake again. And he purchases another. See, it's the same problem that someone might have with alcohol. David. Stop me where I'm at. Some of you might have this problem with crack cocaine. You might have this problem with porn. And so he purchased it again. Now watch this. Muse over this. What was originally just a flash in the mind has become a force in his or her life. See, if you never picked up the bottle he would have never formed the addiction. See, the grooves in the mind are not necessarily negative. There could be grooves in the mind which are uplifting. And there are those which bring one down into a degenerate state. There must be a striving to develop love, compassion, a sense of service, cheerfulness, kindness, and many other qualities, which not only, my good make one's own life happy, but which radiates to others. Everyone wants to be his or her best. Everyone wants to be the best. No one grows up and say, I want to be a failure when they're young. Each person would like to think that he or she is perfect. Yet despite the repeated resolutions, every person finds so many times being less than what he or she would like to be. The cause of this predicament is what I refer to as the ego, or the anti, in the Hebrew, anti. What? In the Greek, ego. And as we say, the ego. So the ego, my child, is a cause of all of the bondage and is the chief barrier to the experience of reality. You gotta mind your own mind. Mind, M-I-N-E. Watch this. Watch this. Marty, you got to mind, M-I-N-E, your own mind, M-I-N-D. So mind your own mind. The world is mind, M-I-N-E. It's not mine, M-I-N-E. The world is mind. So if the world is mind, then you should mind your own mind. Mind, M-I-N-E, your own mind. Hallelujah. Praise be the Most High. Yahweh. This is Yahweh's word, man. I'm talking to someone right now. You better mind your mind. Right? That's how you get out of this thing. Do you understand? Let me take you through a different school of thought. This is the school of the ego. Know you that this is one of the hardest attributes to destroy, is the ego. Can't stop drinking. Can't stop getting high. Your ego's in the way. One of the most difficult, exceedingly difficult things to deal with is that ego. One of the hardest attributes to destroy is the ego. This is the attribute that is carried out mostly by the evil reptilian one, Shaitan, also known as the devil. He who is the son of Shachar, reject him and his attributes, and let him or his followers not into your hearts, for he and they would only lead you to the doors of misery. And a lot of you, brothers and sisters, a lot of you are under Satan's authority. Satan has you in his hip pocket. However, through the teachings of Kahan Tazadaq, through the Ruach, you can be set free. You can learn how to get to burn out the ego. Through the journey of this message right here, I will impart upon your minds the works of the ego. The ego is a self-arrogating aspect of the mind. It is the ego which separates the individual from unity with others and with him or herself. For the ego separates us. The ego is the greatest obstacle to obtaining peace. For it is that which occupies the mind with whether we are better or worse, possess more or less, have greater, lesser power than others. Yahweh. Oh, Yahweh. The ego is attended by desire, pride, anger. Well, who you think you're talking to? Don't you talk to me like that. How dare you talk to me like that? I'm the this, I'm the that. I'm Dr. So-and-so. See, that's the ego getting in the way. But if you follow the ego, Jeffrey Lopes, you can't follow the Most High. Pride's in the way. Anger, delusion, greed, jealousy. They like the times. They pretend to like Tazadaq, they smiling in his face, but the ego's getting in the way. They don't wish the best for me. They wish death for me. Pride, anger, delusion, greed, jealousy, lust, hatred, racism. I don't like Joe Moore. Why don't you like him? I don't like him because he's white. See, that's the ego. And leadership. See, the ego is the most difficult aspect of the mind to control. For its nature is such that it deludes even while one is striving to overcome it. That ego. See, when the ego is subdued, energies can then be utilized constructively for personal growth and the services of others. You better mind, M-I-N-E, your mind, M-I-N-D. These are the jewels of the Ruach, of the Nefesh. These are the jewels of the Nefesh, the power of thought. Let me talk to you about that. 19 times 3 is 57, the power of thought, and that's power plus God. Do you understand? Power of refinement plus God. See, all of ye Yasha'alites, you project some kind of vibration to those around you. Now, I've been telling you for years, don't be around people that has a low form of vibration, negative vibrations. All of you project some form of vibration. Some are a pleasure to be with. They seem to have a certain energy that they share with others. Then there are those who are absorbed by negative and the depressed. And they seem to actually draw energy out of people in their environment. My child, my agwa, is because there's a power containing thought. Know ye that it is very subtle, yet it does exist, and it is extremely powerful. See, whether a person is aware of it or not, that person is constantly transmitting and receiving thoughts. My child, my ak, my akwatha. It is why people have experiences of what you call ESP, or extra sensory perception, from time to time. Some wish to call these experiences coincidence, but they're not. Nothing's coincidental. Every thought has weight. Every thought has shape. Every thought has size. Every thought has form, color, and quality, and power. Case in point, a spiritual thought has a yellow color, while yet a thought change with anger and hatred bears the color red. A thought is like an object. Just as an apple can be given to your friend or taken back, so also it is possible to give a useful, powerful thought to someone and take it back. See, there is a power and energy into which each person can tap if the person only knows it is available to them. This force inspires and encourages and reinforces and give strength to all of those who seek to grow in a positive direction. As many Yasha'alites, however, are unaware of this resource, or they have misconceptions about that. They're like the former who moved to a house in the city and lived in darkness because he or she did not know what those strange sockets in the walls were. The light is there and available to all. The light shineth in the darkness. The book of Yachanan said that the light shineth in the darkness, but the darkness perceived it not. Yachanan, John 1:5. See, we need only to connect ourselves with the current, become a child of light. That literally means that the light force shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never been able to put out or comprehend it. And again, right? Also in the book of Daniel's, the first degree, the 22nd verse was given to our prophet Daniel, the son of Jerah and Geber, where it says he reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and the light dwells with him. See that? See, the law of fate, my child, my akwata, my brother, my sister. There's a law in physics that states for every action, there is an equal opposite reaction. To express it popularly, it is said that what goes around comes around. Yahusha Hamashiach, whom you call Christ, and you Muslims call Isa, he taught, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. See, there are all expressions of the law of fate. These are all the expressions of the law of fate of cause and effect. Whatever thought or deed comes from a person will be returned to that person. It may not come in the same form, but sooner or later, each person will confront the results of his or her actions. You can like that, understand it, believe it or not. See, a generous, giving person immediately draws a response of warmth and love. If the person is hateful, he or she will be disliked until he or she removes this negative quality. This is law, family. This is law, Joe Moore. See, these reactions are not always experienced immediately. What the scripture saying? Because the judgment of the Most High does not come speedily. The hearts of men think that they're going to go unpunished. I'm paraphrasing that. These reactions are not easily learned. And negative patterns may be concentrated for many years. A single lifetime, my child, may not be sufficient for one to obtain perfection. Many of you create a hell for yourselves. I'm going to say that again. Many people create a hell for yourself. You got an evil mom. You got an evil father. But you still trying to hold them up in their wickedness and evil, and you trying to declare yourself as a child of the Most High. David.
Now, calm down. Calm down.
And you can have all the happiness that you want. All you had to do was to get away from your wicked mom and your wicked father. But you bring hell into the life of your children because you hold on to that wicked relationship. So you never get the peace that you always dreamed about. Don't you want to get the hell up out of hell? Aren't you tired of being in hell? I'm going to say that again. Many people create a hell for themselves. This is why some people may have it hard and others have it easy. See, one healthy and another is crippled. One is cheerful, another depressed. One exonerated and the other introverted. One successful and the other unsuccessful. It is neither cruel fate nor a destined, unconcerned fate that set the stage for these situations, but one's own fate, you. Do you understand? You're setting the stage for that. Whatever good happens to you is as a result of your actions. Mind your mind, man. For it's the jewels of your nefesh. My brothers and sisters, what I much impart upon you, upon your minds, is the importance of a healthy mind, body, and soul, and a proper relaxation. Remember, brothers and sisters, the very words healthy and help beings, it begins with the word heal. To heal oneself is to step one. To heal one's mind will heal one's body. And relaxation is simply to learn to relax. Do you understand? See, what you must always remember is by taking proper care of your physical body, you are protecting your inner spirit. And by poisoning your physical body with alcohol, with drugs, with overindulgence in bad things, be it through drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, junk food, sugar, salt. I could go on and on and on. You are doing serious harm to your spirit. And it becomes weaker and weaker. And the more you contaminate your body with alcohol, the more you want it, the weaker your spirit becomes. Stop me where I'm lying at. David. You are doing serious harm to your spirit, and it becomes weaker and weaker through the teachings of the world. But through the teachings of Kahan Tazadaq, you're taught how to nourish your body as well as your soul. Know ye the proper exercise, the proper breathing, the proper relaxation, the proper diet, and intake of much water and positive thinking. These are the requisites attended that lead to a healthy, dynamic, and an effective existence. Proper relaxation is needed to maintain mental, spiritual, and physical health. Many of you think that relaxation involves leaving home for some exotic place where the mind and the body are carelessly pumped with stimulants, depressants, and a full range of other drugs damaging delights, damaging true relaxation. True relaxation comes from removing the stimuli, visual, audible, and otherwise, and turning into the inner awareness, like any piece of sturdy machinery. See, the human's physical and mental bodies can take quite a bit of abuse before giving any sign of protest. Unfortunately, in Western thinking, it has become a practice to ignore the basic rules of health and to think that a pill here or a pill there, which relieves symptoms, will automatically bring about well-being. It's quite the opposite, my good brother and sister. Pain in the body is a warning that something's not right. See, like a red light on the instrument panel of a car, taking this or that compound or chemical to remove symptoms is the same as taking a hammer and breaking a red light. It does nothing to solve the problem. And in fact, it may make it worse, while only giving the appearance of helping. An appearance is not real. Many chemicals ingested are not useful to the body and cannot be eliminated, and are therefore merely stored in the body. See, the medicines accumulate along with the food additives, right? That are eating in such abundance. See, on the average of 25 pounds per person per year. And they combine with each other to literally poison the system. The effects may not be felt for many years, but this does not mean that there is no need for modern medicine, right? Your herbs of your own is a much better way. And this is not medical advice. I do not give medical advice. But often doctors are considered to have some form of absolute knowledge. Too often, frequent visits to the local general practitioner specialist or the psychologist substitute for living a healthy life. See, most of the diseases, my good brothers and sisters, of the mind and body can be eliminated by following 5 basic points. Watch this. Watch this. Number 1, proper exercise. Number 2, proper breathing. Number 3, proper relaxation. Number 4, proper diet with much water. Drink some right now. Number 5, being positive. Positive thought. Thanking prayer to the Most High. Mind, M-I-N-E, your mind, M-I-N-D. For it's the jewels to your nefesh, your soul. 19 times 5 equals born power. To ponder, you should ponder on taking proper diet for yourself, which you could also learn through the teachings of Kahan Tazadaq. Improper diet is another hindrance to your spiritual progress. We're talking about the mind. The world is mind. This is dealing with the Ruach HaKodesh. An improper diet is another hindrance to your spiritual progress. All foods have distinct energies. Just as the physical body is formed from the gross physical portions of the foods that are eating, so it is, the mind is formed from the more subtle portions. If the food is impure, the mind also becomes impure. Cigarettes, liquor, beer,
David,
narcotics, and fast foods, and too much meat, or the most detrimental. In fact, meat at all is detrimental to your body.
David. Now, calm down. Calm down.
Meals should be simple and light and nutritious. Most people eat far more than is necessary, merely out of habit or for some sense of gratification. And a moderate diet is the cause of the great majority of diseases. Again, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. I do not offer medical advice. If you need medical advice, seek yourself a physician. We encounter all of these things in modern society. The mind is always looking for an excuse to avoid discipline. Can't stop drinking because your mind doesn't want to be disciplined. The mind is always looking for an excuse to avoid discipline. You must always listen to the inner voice of self. See, there is two sides to you. 180 degrees of agreeable and 180 degrees of disagreeable.
David.
1% is always that is in need to shift your motion. 181 to the left start the path of the disagreeable action up or very agreeable. You are in control. Listen to the voice of the agreeable things.
David.
Rather than the complaints of the disagreeable mind.
David.
What goes into the human body correlates directly to the efficiency with which the brain functions. Recent studies show that certain red foods colorings create hyperactivity in children, and that refined sugars can cause emotional instability. And this is what most start their children on in the morning. And these are just two examples of the substance that are heedlessly consumed without understanding the effect on the body and the mind. each of which have two parts. The body is involuntarily, that which you control and that which takes control of itself. And of the mind, one good and two evil, which also try to take control. Many intakes are bad, although not categorized as harmful foods. These substances should be strictly avoided. And a lot of Israelites trying to justify marijuana. Marijuana should be strictly avoided. Cigarettes should be strictly avoided. Alcohol should be strictly avoided. Drugs should be strictly avoided. There's a growing awareness that our health is directly affected by what we eat. Almost any disease can be cured by either a change in our diet or a short period of fasting. Again, this is not medical advice. This is not legal advice. Your world is mind, M-I-N-D. And with no medication at all, just fasting and a healthy diet. This is not only true of physical disorders, but of many mental disorders. Again, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. This is not mental advice or medical advice. If you need mental or medical advice, seek yourself a physician and be advised. But many of these mental difficulties can be cured as well. It is particularly important that pregnant mothers have this awareness. A pregnant woman should never be around bad music, demonic things, wicked people, whether it be your wicked mom,
David,
or your wicked father.
David.
For far too often, they do not realize the effect their diet had on their developing fetus. A lot of you women, your minds are so degenerate. You use pregnancy as an excuse to get fat. Go out and eat whatever you want to eat. But you are unaware because you're so dumbed down the effect that it has on your fetus. Shalom, Chris. Contrary to the popular concept, it is not vegetarians who do not get enough protein, but rather heavy meat eaters who don't take in an excess of protein. Animal protein contains a high concentration of uric acid, which is a nitrogen compound similar to ammonia. What? It is not water soluble and cannot be broken down by the liver. And knowing thus, though a certain amount is eliminated, the greater portion of this uric acid is deposited into your joints. The results of this is referred to as arthritis. Hardening of the arteries and the heart disease are two of the most common maladies in the Western world. Where the greatest amount of meat is consumed is in the Western world. Oh, Yahweh. Oh, Yahweh. The culprit, my child, my ak, my akwata, is cholesterol, which also cannot be eliminated from the body, and thus forms a fatty deposit along the walls of the heart and the arteries, gradually thickening until they are clogged and inflexible. The major source of the cholesterol comes from hundreds of pounds of animal tissue and its fats that each person consumes each year. And some of you eat pig. And you get mad because I say you look like a hog. Why are you getting upset, Piggly Wiggly?
David. Now, calm down. Calm down.
Heart disease, hardening of the arteries, and arthritis are all common infirmities. However, the one that strikes the most fear in the hearts of Westerners is cancer. The silent killer, cancer. See, many substances have been found to create cancers in animals. But results always seems to indicate that the amount consumed by the average person is insufficient to create cancer. But I'm gonna hit you with something. What is not revealed is that the accumulation of these poisons over a period of years does create cancer. That's what they're not telling you. Again, this is not medical advice. This is not legal advice. Go and check it out for yourself. Don't believe me? Go and check it out for yourself. See, these substances are innumerable chemicals that are injected into the animals to make the animal fat. This increases weight to yield more dollars per animal. You understand? The nutrient foods coloring, artificial hormones, and even arsenics are among these chemicals contained in animal flesh by the time it goes to the supermarket shelves. And if you are what you eat, why are you getting upset, Piggly Wiggly? These, plus the many other additives consumed by members of the industrialized society, collect in the body and are stored in the tissues. See, cancer occurs when the cell reacts to these excessive toxins in a sense, mutating into cells which reproduce uncontrollably. So much for the horrors of the meat industry. Now, there are several other interesting physical and spiritual reasons for not eating meat. Watch this. Watch this. By the way, I'm a vegan.
David. Now, calm down. Calm down.
You just calm down. Watch this. One is that it takes 4 times as much grain to feed animals than for a man to consume it directly. This raises a moral question in regards to sharing our resources with poor people, right? Plants are the original source of energy for all living things, as they store the energy of Shamash, the sun, through photosynthesis. A person who does not eat a lot of meat not only taxes nourishment from the original source, but their diet is more economical with regards to the cost and the best utilization of the available land. Do you understand? Seafood might be okay for some of you, but that could be taken in excess also, especially if you eat the wrong seafood. I don't eat fish. I don't eat any of that. Another more interesting fact is that a man's digestive system is not one of a carnivore. His or her teeth are designed through mutation from biting and mashing original vegetables. But after so much mixing, now with many people, you have canine teeth for tearing flesh. This is why a man ages, tenderizes, and cooks his or her meat to make it more eatable. Because your teeth is not designed to eat flesh. Diets also alter the person's very appearance from human to animals, as well as his and her nature. A diet will alter your nature. Meat eaters are much more violent. They get angry because whatever spirit that animal had, when it was killed, you put that spirit on you.
David. Now, calm down. Calm down.
See, the human liver is proportionally smaller than that of a meat-eating animal. And it is not built to handle the filtering of animal poisons. Also, the alimentary canal, which is in short a carnivorous animal to speed the poisons through the body quickly. It is quite long in a man as it is in any vegetarian animal. I want you to note that the untruth that you need meat or that you will lose weight if you do not eat meat, that is a damn lie. That is a lie. Many vegans are much more larger than people that eat meat. Mind your mind, right? Mind your mind. 19 times 3 is 57. Power, God. Concentration, my brother, my sister, is the act or process of concentrating. To concentrate is to bring focus, center, to bring or direct one's mind towards a common center or objective. Concentration is a very important principle, one that you should practice and try to master. For contrary to the belief that the art of concentration is simple, effective concentration is not easily achieved. See, your world, oh mortal, is a materialization of the thoughts forms of divine intelligence. It exists as a vibration. Just as there are waves of heat, light, electricity, and energy, there are also thought waves. Thought has tremendous power. Everyone experiences it to some degree. It could be used 1,000 times more effectively. If one had a comprehensive understanding of the working of the thought vibration, the technique for controlling them, and the method of transmitting them to others at a distance, which is called telepathy. Telepathy. The path through the mind to mind. Telepathy. One of your 4 higher senses, by understanding and realizing the powers of the mind. The world is mind, M-I-N-D. One can see distant objects, hear distant sound, send messages to any part of the universe, heal people thousands of miles away, and move to distant places in no time. There is no time, there is no limit to the power of the mind. Consider this. Watch this. Watch this. A worldwide area. Every force in nature moves slowly and with less power than if gathered in one mass and directed through a single restricted outlet. dammed and accumulated. The once sluggish and leisurely flow of the river rushes out with amazing force through the stream. The warm rays of your sun, which you know as the sun, Shamash, the sun focused through a magnifying glass becomes hot enough to burn objects. Such is the power generated by the concentration of force. See, this natural law is also applicable to man in all branches of activities. Mental concentration is the fixing of the mind for an extended period of time on one external point. There could be no concentration without something on which the gathered rays of the mind can rest. It must be a single object or idea. People sometimes pride themselves on being able to think of two things at once. The mind does not work that way. Its oscillating waves are merely bouncing back and forth with lightning velocity between two ideas. The mind could only do one thing at a time. Anyone who imagines that a mundane chore such as dishwashing goes faster if they're thinking of a palm tree and a sunny beach are doing nothing but fooling themselves. Their mental waves are moving between the daydream and the task at hand. See, the attention actually given to the work is thus slowed down because of the constant interruption. It's the same thing that happened to many of you in my webinars. You're distracted. And the hands slow down too. How much better to keep the mind on one point and finish the job in half the time? See, everyone possesses the ability to concentrate to some degree. Case in point, conscious practice of this innate ability strips the thought currents, clarifies ideas, and utilizes some of the immune power of the mind. What has once been cloudy and hazy becomes clear and definite. What has been difficult and complex and confusing becomes easy. One is able to work with the greatest efficiency to turn out more work in less time and to increase one's earning capacity. Consecration can also prevent or minimize your problems simply by concentrating. Do you understand? Do you understand? With the utmost concentration, surgeons operate on his or her patient. Deepest absorption marks the state of the technician, engineer, architect, or the painter engaged in a drawing. The minute details of a plan, chart, or a sketch, which accuracy is of the highest importance. See, the same concentration is necessary on the spiritual path where the aspiration must deal with the internal forces. The progress to be made, it must be developed to a very high degree. Practice demands patience, willing, untiring persistence, and regulatory. There are no shortcuts along the spiritual path. Mind your mind, the jewels of your nefesh. Do you understand? The world is mind. M-I-N-D. See, without knowing men are exceedingly plagued by his insatiability of their own minds. Most humans are about as happy as they make up their own minds to be. So, in order to remove this sort of trouble, the craving for sensory stimulation must be removed. See, once the mind has been stilled and concentrated, it no longer presses one to seek further pleasures. The senses can be controlled through reduction of wants and activities. Dietary discipline is essential. Furthermore, one should avoid undesirable company as well as stimulants and depressants, television, seminars, newspapers, which aggregate the mind, should be reduced and replaced with periods of sitting in silence and solitude. There's really no right way to do wrong things. Do you understand, David? There is no right way to do wrong things.
David.
By witnessing and tampering desires and emotions, the quality of egotism, anger, greed, lust, and hatred are eradicated, which means to rip out from the roots, to destroy. Eradicate your drinking, eradicate your drug habits. The mind's best friend, worst enemy. See, one should not allow the mind to dissipate its energy uselessly on vain thoughts, on worries, on imaginations, and on fears. See, one thing you cannot recycle is wasted thoughts and time. Stop me where I'm at. You cannot go out and recycle wasted thoughts and wasted time. By manipulating the mind, one is able to bring it under control and to compel it to concentrate its powers. But one must not wrestle with it. Lost time is never returned. Struggle only sets more mental waves into motion. The sums total of all the pleasures in the world is nothing compared to the bliss derived from the mind. Feed your mind and doubt the idle time which starve to death. If you feed your mind with positive thought, you will starve doubt and idle thoughts to death. And so to reduce the outflow, waste of mental energies, the senses must be subjugated. 1/4 of one's energy is diverted to digesting of food, which is often eating for pleasure of the taste buds rather than for sustenance. Additional mental and physical energy is useless, idle thinking. So you got to learn to control the tongue, my brother, my sister, by observing silence for an hour or two a day. Our senses have been habitually overfed and geared to gluttony. The greatest of our faults is to think we have none. I'm going to say that again. The greatest of all of our thoughts and our faults, the greatest of all of our faults is to think that we have no faults. You understand? One should examine all worldly habits and curtail them sharply. Fasting of the mind, Watch this. Fasting of the mind is when the thoughts are weaned from attachments to many fleeting sensations that they feed upon. See, the senses do not convey experience without the cooperation of the mind. An agreeable exercise is not allow the senses to come into contact with the object. Case in point, if certain music or TV programs are found to leave the mind in an agitated state, they should be eliminated. By withdrawing the mind from it. The senses are also withdrawn. See, when we withdraw the mind, we also withdraw the senses. See, remember, if you don't care where your life is going, then any road will lead you there. You dig? If you don't care where your life is going, then any road will lead you there. In everyday situations, one should develop the faculty of attention. Concentration itself is a mirroring of the field of attention. The entire attention is thrown into whatever is being done. The individual becomes lost in the job at hand. See, one must concentrate on the work and rigorously shut out all other thoughts. No work can be done successfully without calmness and concentration. In this way, the mind becomes one-pointed. Failure is a stranger to work done with perfect attention. When one sits for meditation through prayer, there should be no thought of job-related work. When doing job-related work, household chores never should enter the mind. See, in training the mind to obtain only to the work at hand should be your goal. There is success. There is pleasure. See, a person with an agreeable concentration can accomplish a task in half the time as one without it. A person with an agreeable concentration can accomplish a task in half the time and with twice the accuracy that it would take the average person. It is easy to pay attention to what is pleasant. See, for the mind is naturally attracted to what pleases it. A beneficial exercise, brothers and sisters, is to fix the attention on the unpleasant tasks for which one may have previously shrunk under scrutiny. They become interesting. And interest reduces the unpleasantness. It's very nice to be important, however, it's more important to be nice. You see that? You hear that, David? David? It's very nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. The world is mind, M-I-N-D, mind, M-I-N-E, your mind for the jewels of the nefesh. There are experiences, my good brothers and sisters, that cannot be described, just as colors cannot be described to the blind man. All ordinary experiences are limited by time, space, and the law of cause and effects. Normal awareness and understanding does not transcend the bounds. Finite experience is measured in terms of past, present, and future. These concepts of time are illusionary, right? For they have no performance, immeasurable, small, and fleeting. The present cannot be grasped. Both past and future are non-existent in the present, and therefore they are unreal. The only reality is the now. You live in a world of illusion. With meditation comes freedom. Freedom from fear of death. Most of you mortals ponder that death is the end of existence. But, in fact, death means only the extension of the present name and form. The greater the identification with the name and form, the greater the fear. Living a righteous way of a life induces detachments from name and from fear. It makes one aware of the ever-changing nature of the body and all of the phenomenal existence, in recognizing of it all. One realizes the impossibility of holding on to anything, including one's own troublesome ego identity. See, when this need to grasp disappear, then the fear of losing what was never really possessed vanishes. Immortality is within reach. Remember, watch this. Remember, real fear is the lack of true faith. Real fear is a lack of true faith. My good brothers and sisters, I have introduced you to the existence of the Supreme Elohim, right? The world of illusion is unreal. Idol worship is unreal. Idol worship is not evil, nor idol can be the all. And the individual soul is eventually returned to the all. For all things exist within the all. From within the all is where you came. And within the all is where you will return. This ultimate reality is beyond the reach of the limited intellect and within the reach of the unlimited intellect in the knowable world. See, you must begin to understand a new physics. It is called quantum physics. Reincarnation alone, the abandonment of all worldly attachments, can lead to the knowledge of the absolute. This is achieved through the process of negation of all worldly desires, identifications, qualifications, and extensions. The precepts, some of you, of Yahusha must be practiced. For you are a child of the Most High, Yahuwah, who is the Almighty. And to attain freedom, one must engage in solid spiritual practices. His teachings must enter your bones, your nerves, your cells, and your interior chambers of your heart. Lip confession and the praisings of his name is not only inadequate and insufficient, it is sinful. It is pure hypocrisy. We should become absolutely fearless. This life, in reality, no more words, no more talk, no more arguments, heated debate or discussions, no more study, no more wandering. As he said, I am in the Father, and the Father in me, in Yakanan 14:10, John 14:10. and you say, I am in the all, and all is in me, become Christ. Live in the truth. Into silence. There is peace. Peace in silence. Do you understand? That's right knowledge, what leads one to right wisdom and a right understanding. Mine am I in ye, your mind am I in thee. For the jewels of the nefesh, the soul. See, there are various methods for realizing the self. They're all based on the removal of the limiting ideas in regards to oneself and the universe. Just as a container creates the illusion that the space inside it is separate and smaller, so the mind creates its own walls. And hence, the illusion of separation from self. Not this is a method of analysis by negation or denial. It is a means of approach by finding out what a particular subject is not like. One can move towards an understanding of what it is like. See, through the process of negation, one can approach understanding of a real happiness by realizing that it does not lie in wealth, power, fame, or any other object of worldly pursuit. Through negation of everything that can be known via the senses, one exhausts the mental modification and finds the answer within. Ultimately, direct experiences is necessary, for it is not a matter of intellectual understanding. And man, it is not his or her house, nor is he or she his or her Job. For these are the subjects to change. Everything's subject to change. But as a man remains the same, it is useless to identify with clothing or hairstyles. Yet all are subject to this form of illusion from time to time. The real you, which is sometimes called the self, is one's essential nature. Is neither body nor senses. The body and senses are more external qualities of the self. The serious spiritual person negates identification with all things of the world which are not real. The man negates the mind by saying, I am not this personality. I am not these desires. I am not these fears. Until eventually, all things within worldly experiences are negated and nothing remains but self. And in this kind of connection, union with the absolute is achieved by denial of the body, mind, name, form, intellect, senses, and all limiting adjuncts. See, the true I remains, which is absolute existence, knowledge, bliss. You understand? So one should observe the play of life as though he or she were watching a movie. But again, does not identify with it. Whatever situation one experiences, his or her own reaction should be, I am not involved in this. I am only watching it happen. And this entails introspection and close awareness of mental waves. See, the mind does not want to be watched. and will soon slow down its activities. But it does not give up without a struggle. In many ways, it will deceive and persuade one to stop watching it. It is such a powerful force that it is capable of dragging the attention wherever it goes, unless extreme watchfulness is practiced. Many times, it will divert the attention from its focus. So one must observe this with patience, then firmly return to the witness state to taking care not to fight the mind, but only to gently guide it. Mind your mind. The world is mine. Kahan Tazadaq, say no second.
David. Now, calm down. Calm down.
I could go on and on and on, brothers and sisters, but I surmise I'll stop right ahead. Mind your mind. Put your mind in check. The world is mine. Get control of your mind and you control all things. I don't care if you're a victim to substance abuse, drugs, alcohol, porn, whatever it may be. If you control your mind, you control it. 180 degrees on each side. All you need is 1% to get the positive side of the mind in control with the negative side. 360 degrees, it revolves. 180 degrees of negative and 180 degrees of positive. All you need is that 1% to change your life. The world is mine. Do you understand? 1% in any direction. Get control of your mind. Your inner me is your enemy. Your inner me is your enemy. That 181 degrees of negative force, of negative thought that you have within you is your enemy. You have to bring that into subjection. You have to get 181% of positive thoughts to control your mind. You have to run the spiritual race. You understand that? You got to keep under your body. You got to keep under your body. Paul says in 2 Timothy 4:7, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race, and I have kept the faith. Have you kept the good fight? I mean, you're fighting a good fight of your mind. 1 Corinthians chapter 9. I believe I'll close on this.
David. Now, calm down. Calm down.
Father. Father. Eli. Somebody. See what I'm saying? See what you make me get on the front line in a football game. I don't play football. You are a wonder We are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Take control of your mind. 1 Corinthians, the 9th chapter, verse 24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So when you're running in a cardinal race, you're running a marathon, you're running a sprint for Esau. Everyone's running, but only one received first prize. But when you run in this race for the Most High, you all could get the crown. You're running in the wrong race. 1 Corinthians 9:24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run, that they may obtain. So everyone's running hard. You run it. You run it. Run, Negro, run. Are you running? Well, what kind of crown are you running for? And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. So you striving for a temporary prize. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown. So they running for a corruptible crown. They running out the heavyweight championship of the world. They running for a gold medal. Muhammad Ali won the gold medal. They still call him nigga. And he do it in the ocean. You're running for a corruptible crown. You're selling poison to your people. Running for a corruptible crown. But we, an incorruptible. I therefore run, not as uncertainty. So you can't run like you're not going to win. When you run in this race for the Most High, you got to be certain. You got to run on faith. You can't be uncertain about nothing. You can't, oh, well, I don't know, I might. No, man, you got to say, yes, I'm going to do it. Whatever you ask in my name, it shall be given unto you. Oh, ye of little faith. Therefore so I run, not as uncertainty, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. You're not fighting a carnal like Floyd Mayweather. You shadow boxing. You don't fight that way. You fight by instilling these laws, statutes, and commandments into you. Not like one beat in the air, doing the rope-a-dope like Ali, I'm the greatest of all time. Nah, man. You fight by putting that Ruach in you. And the Ruach's going to fight for you. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection. So it's your mind. The world is mine. How do you keep under your body? By putting pure thoughts in your mind. Proverbs 23:7, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. You gotta bring your body, you gotta bring your body into subjection into your mind. If you got a problem with alcohol, bring your body into subjection with your mind. The world is mind. M-I-N-D. Least that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself be a castaway. See, you out here talking to other people, and you can't even save yourself. You're a castaway. You talking to life. See, you like to be out front. You like that spotlight. Moray so-and-so. General so-and-so. Yeah, I'm the general. Well, where you been, General? I've been up to the big house. Not over to, but I've been up to the big house. See, that's what they used to call them when our forefathers were back on the plantations. I'm going up to the big house. The big house. Not over to, but up to. He moving up to the big house. I'm the this. I'm the that. You better keep under your body, man, and bring it into subjection. Like I was talking about earlier, man, that ego, pride. Scriptures say pride go up before destruction and a hardy spirit before a fall. You better bring your body into subjection. You better bring your body into subjection. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. Some of you tonight, you're controlled by chemical abuse. You're controlled by an abusive relationship. You know the relationship's abusive. No, I'm talking to someone right now, Marty Ma. You know the relationship's abusive. You're still in it. Your parents are abusive. But you stay in it because you're a fool. Most High is going to bring judgment to you. You stay in it. Well, you trying to justify their wickedness. Well, yeah. Well, why you let them do that to you? Why you let them hit you in the face like that? Well, that's family. You're a cash cow fool. They just want money from you. David. Ain't no real love, but you don't know what real love is because they never gave it to you. And you can have a happy life, but you try to be loyal to your family because you say that's family. So you're miserable. You hate life. You're angry at everyone you meet and you take that abuse out that you're getting from your abusive family members on everyone that you encounter. David.
Now, calm down. Calm down.
Some of you need to repent and pray to the Most High to get out of your situations. You justify the abuse. You become a victim of Stockholm Syndrome. You're a victim. Being further victimized by the abusive person, the abusive mother, the abusive father, the abusive friend. And you justify it by saying, oh, that's family. And you stay miserable. And you're always bitter. And you always have that lower vibration of energy on you. You want to be happy. But you're torn between loyalty of your wicked family and then the one that the Most High set up to bring you happiness. So you suffer peacefully in your life. It's miserable. I'm talking to someone right now. I'm talking to a lot of you right now. This is cutting some of you right now. You became so accustomed to the abuse. You won't walk away from it. You find ways to justify the abuse. They're abusing you and you know it. But you say, that's family. They only come around you when they want something. They want money. You don't hear from them until they want something else. Then once they get what they want, they're going again for a while, but you know they're coming back. And inside your heart, you know they don't really care about you. But you have this false sense of loyalty to them because you say, oh, that's family. And your family is shattering your heart. But you become accustomed to the abuse. And you start to normalize it. See, it's a dangerous place when you start to rationalize wrongdoing. You use deceptive intelligence to rationalize their wrongdoing because you say that's family. And you know that your life will be better without them. But you've been falsely taught that this is what's known as adjustment. And your life has become a living hell. Sad but true, Marty. I'm talking to someone right now. It's sad but true. Your life becomes, and you know you want to be happy, but you have this false sense of loyalty to your wicked family. See, sometimes, I'm talking to someone right now, man, the Most High puts someone in our lives, Marty. But if we don't appreciate it, if we don't do what the Most High wants, He would take that person out of our life. Because we didn't do what the Most High wanted us to do. See, you wanted to do it your way. But you didn't do it the Most High's way. So the Most High took away your blessing. He took away your gift. Less than a month ago, December the 25th, all of you that partake in paganistic practice, you was waiting for 12 a.m. to unwrap your gift under the tree of Nimrod. Your gift. You couldn't wait to open your gift, a carnal gift. But the gift that the Most High gave you would sustain you, would bring happiness into your life. But sometimes we're too blind to see the blessing that the Most High has given us, so He take it away. The Most High has given, and the Most High taketh away. Because we don't appreciate our gifts. See, we always want to do what we want to do. We don't want to do it the Most High's way, so He take that gift back. And you stay in that demented relationship because it's family. And you're living your lives miserable. And you knew that the only thing you had to do was to get the hell up out of Dodge, to move as far away from your family as you could. But you have this false sense of reality. And you waste your entire life and you die in vain. And in the end, on your dying bed, you hate yourself for it. But then it's too late. Then it's too late. You hate yourself. You say, oh, I should have left years ago. And then when your family that you held so high and they treated you so disgusting and so low has finally ruined your life. When it's time for them to be laid into the grave, Try to look back to that gift that the Most High gave you. But that gift is no longer there. David. Because you didn't cherish the gift that the Most High gave you. You didn't move when the Most High said to move. You wanted to do it your way. You wanted to do things your way. So the Most High took that gift away from you. And that's a pain that you experience for the rest of your life. For some bad decision making, because you say that's family. And your family destroyed their damn life, your damn life, because their lives was already destroyed. And you allow them to do the same thing to you. But it's not their fault. It's your fault that you couldn't grow. Your inner me is your enemy. Your inner me is your enemy. So I'm telling all of you right now tonight, man. If you have someone that the Most High has placed in your life and you cherish that person, you better run to that person. Choose life. Stop allowing your family to I'm talking to someone right now. Choose life. And you know who I'm talking to. Stop allowing your family to dictate your life, because you're not promised tomorrow. I just talked to someone today, Marty Ma, and they say, I lost my mother. I say, whoa. Praise be the Most High. I told him to read the book of Psalms. And I say, yo, you sound different. You sound bitter. Don't let it get you down. You got to move on. And they put their life always trying to do right by their family. Their family always mistreated them. Now she's in the spiritual world. She didn't know. She said it just came out of nowhere. She just up and died. My mom just up and died. So all of you out there that have a person that you cherish, don't wait until tomorrow to tell them that you love them. Don't wait until tomorrow to treat them right. The scriptures say don't go to sleep on your anger. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. You better get your gift. The Most High only gives that gift once. The Most High giveth, and he taketh away. He doesn't do things the way that we want it to do, him to do it. He doesn't do things when we want him to do it. I tell you, my great-grandfather said, he may not be there when I call on him, but he's always on time. Hallelujah. Always on time. See, you're on a different type of time. This is Yahuwah's time. Better get your mind right, king. Get your mind right, queen, because you don't know when your time is up. Well, one thing's for certain, and two things for sure. Your time is running out. See, we always think we have tomorrow, and the mother that died probably thought that she has tomorrow. She had tomorrow, but she up and died. Cherish your gift. If you don't cherish your gift that the Most High gave you, he would take it away from you. All of you that's at odds with someone, your dear loved one, life is certainly uncertain these days. You better cherish that person. You better swallow your pride. You better get control of your ego. And you better fix it, because not either one of you are promised tomorrow. The scriptures say don't say such and such without saying Most High willing. Because you never know what the next moment is going to bring forth. So with that, I'm going to bring this to an end, good brothers and sisters. Said a lot in this video. Trying to teach you to control your mind, because most people don't control their minds. Most folks' minds are controlled by some outside entity or some outside people. Get control of your minds. The world is mine. Kahan Tazadaq, so you know, said it. This is right now, it's Zelle. This is your Howard swap. It's how we want it.
When I whet my flashing sword, and my hand takes hold of judgment, I will take vengeance upon mine enemies, and I will repay those who hate me. O Lord, raise me to thy right hand and count me among thy saints.
Shalom. Everyone be safe. Mind your mind.